This is Gbpcad weekly recap for this third week of September. So we'll be going over what GA did, and let's just do that, okay? So initially this is September 14th, right? September 14th going to 15th right here, 15th London session. We created a high, we're creating higher lows, right? We're creating higher lows. So essentially this is one of our higher lows. Rejected this area right here. So, and once price started coming back above here and staying above, we knew that, okay, we could potentially come back up to this high, right? And I even, I put this on my story as well. So what essentially happened, if you want to go into the lower time frames, you can look at it through this. Look, there was a bearish trend line, right? Where price was lower time frame trend line, price was just rejecting, okay? Price rejected, and once we broke it, we were also above this consolidation level, and this is 1:45 a.m. 2 a.m. 1 hour before London Open. The London Open came back down below, couldn't break this, right, and then retested and then went up. So this was the first trade of the week that you could have taken on Gbpcad. It was a very clean move, and look, we rejected initially before heading up 77 pips. Stop loss would have been like 15 pips, what we always say on Gbpcad. Save 15 pips, right? You didn't have to have that trend line. You could have initially just known that, okay, created a low, now we're creating higher lows. Plus, if the hourlies keep closing above here, I'm gonna draw it out because I don't want to keep closing above there, then we're gonna head up, right? Okay, so that's 70 pips for the week, first one. So I'm just going to delete that. Not that. I need to delete that. Okay. So, 1 second. I'm going to count that as 70 pips. Okay, 70 pips for the week. Second trade of the week, we broke above 1.69800, which is a nice daily 4-hour level, you see. Right, you see here. Tap right to the wick there, 1.69800, and that's also like a psychological round number. Okay, so I also posted this on my story. I also sent this to a couple of my friends. I said it'll do something like that, right? I had it as this. I didn't have it right at 800, but I did something like this. But 1.69800 was a valid support. So if you go into the time frames, London Open liquidity grab, right? As you can see, prior to London Open there, we weren't able to create any high, right? We were just going, lower time frame was right now just getting ready for the move. But then right at London Open, closed here, tapped here, right? Went up, tapped here again, created a higher low, and then created a final higher low before starting to push up. So it's the little things that you have to look out for, okay? So that itself was also another like 140 pips. And I was kind of pissed because I missed this move. So 3:30, 4 a.m. If you look on the hourly chart, you could have entered once this like candle, even once this candle closed bullish, 5 a.m. you could have entered on the lower wick, which if you recall is the last retest on 5 minutes before price continued up, right here, 5 a.m. yeah. And then let's just say you entered here, okay? That would have been a nice entry. 15 pip stop loss, and your take profit is the next zone, which was hit, right? Or you can have, let's just say your take profit was 140 pips, okay? So that's your take profit, 140 pips. You see how clean it was? I would have had it at the next one, because that right there, okay? Next trade was, so this was September 16th. I took this trade, so basically 1 hour created a high, right? And then it went down, created a lower high right here, higher low, and then it was still going up, right? So we knew that this was our buy range, and we were at least going to reach here, maybe for London, maybe for pre-London. We'll just have to see. So pre-London started moving up, right? Here are your higher lows, and then I entered once 1.71. This basically once this area broke, I entered buys, I scalped buys, and I scalped them up till here. So I'll show you what that looks like. I got in right there. 37. I got like 37 pips. I exited right there, and then stop loss. This had a tight stop loss. I didn't have one more than 10 pips on this one, right? Because it was just a continuation trade, and I was like, okay, this is pre-London volume. If we're gonna go up, we're most likely gonna do a liquidity grab at this level. That's the only reason we should be moving up. Once we did that liquidity grab, price came down, created a low, rejected it, right? And then went back up, created a high, lower high. And you see when it created the lower high, it kept rejecting it. It rejected at 6 a.m. and then 7 a.m. bank rate. Decision dropped price all the way down. This is a perfect example of, look how nice that liquidity grab was on our levels from before. It tapped exactly there at news. Like, it's not a coincidence. Down 150 pips. And look where we came down, okay? So it came down to support, and then same thing that GG did when after the news, Gbpcad did the same thing. Initial rejection, right? Higher low, and it was perfect because there was an intraday trend line and this level that we came back down to. So if you want to go down deeper into the 1 minute, 1 minute looks very nice too. So see. Rejection, okay. Higher low. Could have entered here. If you have big balls, then you can enter down here. But yeah, and then we went from doing this to this. I know a lot of people who did cash this move. Like, this was perfect. This was a liquidity grab, right? Caught this move, but I didn't. I ended the week at that scalp that I took. I got 6% there. Okay, so there was that move, right? And then what I mean next is price goes from higher time frame levels to higher time frame levels is back up 100, 180, 150 pips. So you entered right there. If you entered there, below the wick, 150 pips, right? So that's Gbpcad. You see how easy these traded. This was very nice. This was super clean. Scalp was okay, not the best quality trade, but I'll be the first to admit that. But it got me 6%. So, and then 150, 160, 160, 160, 320, 40 pips, 360, 360, we can just do 150. Fuck it. No, we'll do 140. 360, 140, 500, 570 pips on Gbpcad. Gbpcad moves a lot, and you see how nicely rejected levels. Like, look at it when it rejected, when news rejected it. It tapped that level exactly. Like, it's not a coincidence, right? Like, these levels are there for a reason and they work. So learn how to plot them properly. But yeah, okay. So that's it. 570 pips on Gbpcad.